is like they provide licensing, they provide air traffic services, they provide they check on the airworthiness. So everything, as I told you, each and every department are having their own roles, okay, to be done. So in the same way, they have a set of 12, I believe 13. Okay. 13 of CAR in them. Okay. That could be licensing, that could be training for the staff, that could be, checking on the airworthiness. So this is all is done by the DGCA. This also forms the aviation law because it is bounded by the aviation law. As we know, if an aircraft needs to be flown properly, it need the proper what you say, the aircraft should be taken outside, flown for some time, and then it needs to be safely landing. Then only the aircraft is accepted as an airworthy aircraft. Okay, till then it is not. Till then it is not. Even if a new component is being placed inside the aircraft, let's say the aircraft was flying. Okay, it was nicely flying, but still there is some mistake in the component of an aircraft. The engineer changes the component, but very next day that aircraft wouldn't be released for flying. No, they would be sending this particular engineer plus a pilot and an operator to to another destination. Okay, and a proper and make sure that this fly would be safe and they would land back safely. Then only they will send a passenger of 200 or 300 in the aircraft. Okay, when they feel, and the DGCA needs to be giving you a seal stating that okay, this aircraft is worthy to be flying. Now, if you talk about the training is of course given to DGCS, to the pilots and the cabin crews. So if you see the pilot, they would be having the DGCA's certificate with them, stated as DGCA certified pilots. So it's a must that they should have this. Okay, apart from that, they wouldn't be able to fly the aircraft. Okay. Then they also give a set of trainings for the ramp staffs, okay, for the dangerous goods. Okay, what kind of goods should be added there? If at all. Now, dangerous goods will also come into another subject because you have a lot to learn in the dangerous good because that might come in cargoes. Okay. So what are dangerous goods? What type of, you have 9 classes of dangerous goods. What are the 9 classes? Your toxic substances, your corrosives, all these kinds of things would be coming to know. And so all these kind of trainings is actually given by the DGCA. Okay, so licensing is something where if you will have to fly an aircraft, of course you should have a pilot licensing. Apart from your pilot licensing, you will not be able to fly the aircraft. Now in the licensing only you have 3 set of license, okay, where the pilot will start his journey. But from again, that doesn't form a part of your topic now, so I'm not going deep into it. So if you will have to learn deeply about aviation, you have lots and lots to learn. But if you're focusing on just one point, then only one point would be your passenger checking in, your passenger flow, all those kinds of things. Okay, so that is a small introduction on aviation law. If you go deeply into aviation law, everything will go on toss. So please don't go into toss. Everything will get confused, and you would be having only time to learn aviation laws amendments only. So aviation law in general should be given as a subject. I hope there is a subject, might be for BB aviation students in Bangalore University. We have a subject for 5th sem students, which is aviation law. And I've heard people saying that it's very tough. And I myself have taken it, and it's very tough. It's very not easy to, think of every law, think of every amendments, thinking of every rules, because it's not an easy rule. The question comes as in 15 marks. You need to write all the amendments things, annexes, sub-annexes, and all those things. So it's a complicated subject. So if at all you guys are having that, you need to be getting prepared right now, because that's how the subject goes. Any other doubt? For time being, please keep this much in mind. Don't mess up your head with this. Okay? As and when the time goes, you'll get adjusted to that. Any other thing? So for you guys, time being, keep in mind that you need to know what is passenger check-in. Okay, that is where if at all you're starting to work in an airport, this is the basic thing they might ask you. You know how you behave with the passenger, what's your personality development. Okay, how is your grooming? These all things are the first point when you enter into the aircraft comes. Okay, so to the airport comes. So you need to be clear on these particular things. Okay, you get to talk to many toxic passengers, you get to talk to many absurd passengers, believe it or not. Okay, you set to talk to very weird kind of passengers, you set to talk to passengers with mobility, that is, he or she might be on wheelchairs, he or she might be having a down syndrome, he or she might be having mentally retarded kind of problems. So all these things, if at all you are in the check-in counters, needs to be handled by you. If you do not know to handle and a passenger has come to your counters, please call your supervisors right in there. Tell them that you do not know. Please don't directly handle them, because once they are in the aircraft, you would be on toss. There are certain issues where you will be getting a warning letters from the managers, so that shouldn't happen. That would bring a bad impression on your career. Anything else, Divya?
No, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. All clear.
Okay. Any other doubts? Any other doubts? So let's clear it for doubts, because we have ample of time now, since you said the um, time is there for us. So any other doubts? I'll not quickly run up, because whatever is there, we need to clear that out. Then only I can move on to the next step, because whatever is coming in your next is about your tourism. Okay, you have your itinerary coming up, and that is how you prepare your itinerary. What is the need of preparing an itinerary? Then you have what is the connection between tourism and aviation. So I do not have any slide for that. I have done the whole night. I was sitting and doing the notes for myself. So I have a word format. So I would be just giving that to you, but probably I would be explaining you what and all is written in that, and how you do the itinerary, what is the need of the itinerary. With that, we will be completing your fourth chapter too. So I'll be left out with just one topic, one chapter for you. Okay, so before that, it is very important for me to clear out whatever is there, that is behind. So even if you have something based on the passenger check-in now, let's say you should know how the check-in happens, or how you face the passengers, or what kind of personality development is required, how the communication happens. All these things I can help you out with. So quickly rewind yourself in the mind whatever you need to ask me. Someone has off their mic, I guess.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Mushraf. I was waiting for
Ma'am,
you. Tell.
ma'am, like aviation, under aviation management, we have the aviation laws as a deep subject, or like we have it in the fifth semester, or the aviation law is totally a different, ma'am.
Aviation law is actually, what do you say? You study as a subject itself, okay? But aviation law is it's a very different kind of totally wiped out from your passenger services, because it doesn't it has nothing to do with your passengers. Okay? So the major thing is that it is only focusing on the airline and on the airport. Okay, so it is a set of
Okay, ma'am.
rules given to the airline. It's a set of act what the airport should be following, like how you have your other kind of acts, right, in your subjects. Okay, in the same way, this is also a kind of act. Now, if you say, as I said, aviation law is very vast. Okay, you could now since you have for MBA in aviation and things like that, you will learn that as a particular topic only. It's not as a topic, you have a huge book for that. And that's a vast area, really vast area. Now I have seen people doing PhD in aviation laws because it's totally based on legal conditions, okay, on legal regulations, what the country has got to do with the aviation sectors. So, if you go deeply, the 30 hours won't be enough for me because it just goes and goes and goes and goes. So it's a never ending subject. Every day new amendment is followed, every day new act has come up. So that is actually being taken legally by the DGCA, and every day they follow. Now for the COVID pandemic only, what and all, they had again done separate amendments, okay. So that amendment is also included in the aviation law. So it is all sort of legal acts and legal amendments which the aviation sectors would be following. So now that goes differently with different countries, okay. uh, so, but in general, if you'll have to learn about only aviation law, okay, only aviation law, you would be learning about the whole nation's aviation law, okay, because the
Okay.
rules and things around it is very hard. If you learn aviation law, very good. You would be joining in any aviation sector as a legal advisors for any airline or something like that, because you are perfected with the acts and amendments. But I myself would say it's a tough subject. It's a tough topic. But I don't know about you guys. I was telling about, since I was teaching for some other university, and that I was teaching for Bangalore University. So I know that they had a subject in the fifth semester for aviation law. Okay. And same way they had 5 topics, but uh, everything was based on, it's a complicated one because the notes were around, I'll tell you, a set of PDFs, because it was also again all online. So they had a PDF of around, each law consists of a PDF of around 264 papers. Okay. And that was huge. But still, I have students who have acquired great marks in that because they were actually more interested in aviation law. So legally, they were very much connected to it. So that's the reason I had students who had gained around 94, 95 in that. Like, if myself, I'm saying it is a tough subject. Yeah, it is a tough subject because I hate hacks. I hate rules. I hate, laws. Legally, I am not a person who's good at it. I'm a person who was always customer focused. So I usually used to like only that. Okay. So it depends upon the people's interest. Now, if you are a person who wants to learn more of law, very good. Aviation law is one of the best things you could do. Anything else? Passenger service or anything you want to know?
Ma'am, another doubt. Ma'am, if you want to go towards the terminal sector, like the terminal side, is DGCA that exam, is that mandatory, ma'am, to be a part of terminal and technician sides of terminal?
No, 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 no. If you'll have to become an engineer, okay, uh, let's say you want to become an aircraft engineer, then obviously you need to be doing your BTech. Yeah, apart from your BTech, you wouldn't be able to do anything, and you need to be doing your AME, okay, your aircraft maintenance engineering. So if you do that, then I believe you have a 6 months or 1 year of DGCA's, training, because you need to be licensed for that. You will have to get a license to repair an aircraft. You can't just blindly go. You've completed your AME and you can't just blindly go there and do it. Yes, all of the engineers are actually licensed by DGC. If you talk about the pilots are, yes, after you complete your pilot training, so you have a set of 3 licensing in that. Okay, student pilot licensing and the commercial pilot licensing, and one more is the private pilot. private pilot licensing. Yeah, student pilot licensing and private pilot. Commercial pilot licensing is something where after student you are getting a commercial flying license from the DGCA. That is, DGCA needs to give the licensing to you only if they find you fit for it. That is, you fly for certain set of hours and then they give you a licensing. Now private pilot licensing is something where you own your own aircraft, where you are capable of flying your own chartered aircrafts. Okay, because chartered aircrafts consists, is those kind of aircrafts which carry the VIPs and VVIPs in them. So you would be, allowed to fly only that if you have a private pilot licensing. But from that, for commercial pilot licensing, if you have completed your so much of hours and they feel you're fit, okay, medically and everything is fit, you're stress free, every time, every before every flight starts, you might in some airline, okay, in some airline, they will do a stress management for you, as in to know how much stress you are in today, because as per them, they feel that if you have stress, you wouldn't be able to fly the aircraft. So that's how the airlines feel. So, DGCA will start giving you all these kinds of things. So, being a terminal staff, if you are a ramp security staff, I told you if you are a cargo staff, then for time being, in the sense now, if you're joining, let's say for example, you're joining to Indigo, okay, and Indigo airline is putting you into security, okay, security department, which is there in the ramp. So in the ramp, you just normally work with them. You don't require any such kind of DGCA approbation. But as and when if you'll have to fly on a higher level, then yes, you require something. But that would be told by your airline. They might say if you need to go for this, then you'll have to. But that is too high, becoming too high, even for becoming a normal. What do you say? Aviation. Air ramp manager. Also, you don't require that. But if you will have to fly for an even high, let's say for an VP or VC, then yes, you should require that. That they will tell you, yes, you should be knowing. It's always good to have a DGCA certified thing. That always gives you with a push on your back. That's a priority. You would be treated more because you have the license of DGCA. But now, currently, there's no need for you to take that because a normal staff doesn't require it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, anything else? So, what and all do you guys really want to go into aviation sector, or it's just that you have an interest towards subject?
How to get into the aviation sector,
Yes,
ma'am? Aviation management and airports.
okay. So, what is your idea actually? Getting into what? Getting into what? That is, you should have an idea that okay, I will go into passenger
After
service, customer service. Okay, I will go into cargo, or let's say in ramp. That one.
after my aviation management, I thought of going with airways in cargo management and also safety management. And because I have interest in both cargo and also in safety management and security department.
Oh, nice, no stuff. Nice.
Actually, in
Both
Qatar
are.
Airways, there is one of my uncle is working as a cargo manager, ma'am. So that is why I was,
Ah,
yes, ma'am. So from past many years, I was also looking for the same study for
so you
cargo.
can ask him about the cargo, various kinds of cargo, how they load the cargo. It's really interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
When you sit at your free time. I know now you don't have your free time, but still I'm telling you, when you sit at your free time, just try to watch. I believe in the National Geographic and all, they used to show about the airlines. Okay, at that particular time, I don't remember. Yeah, Indian Standard Time is lost in my mind now. So they will show you as in how they load the cargo in Emirates. and all these kinds of huge aircrafts, and it's really amazing to watch that, or try to watch some videos in YouTube. Okay, they will show you how the cargo is being loaded, what and all are the products which which will be loaded, how they deal with the live animals, how they deal with the plants, how they deal with the perishables, how they deal with the human dead bodies. Okay, so you don't call it as dead body, you call it as human remains. And how they deal with this kind of valuable cargoes, your gold and things and all. So it is actually a nice video to watch upon. You should majorly watch on dangerous good, because that's very interesting. It's a risky job. People who likes to take risk is should work in cargo. Really, it's a nice thing what your uncle is doing. Uh, but still, he also needs to be following some set of rules. Okay, but you can generally ask him as in how it this works and all this kind of things. It's nice. Divya, what would you like to join us?
Ma'am, to be honest, I really had a dream to join as a pilot, but due to lack of information, I have opted commerce field. Then many suggested me to join as a cabin crew or do air hostess course, but I'm not interested in that. So I just took aviation for more exploration of aviation field, and I had some fantasies to like study more in aviation, like aviation psychology, masters, and all further studies in aviation.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
Actually, I do have
to be
many friends in
a
flight.
pilot, the first and foremost subject was science. Yeah, your base should be science, and your major focus should be physics.
Yes,
Gone
ma'am.
case,
Physics and maths.
gone case. Physics and math should be there. I hate both of these subjects. I'm out of it. So I hate numbers. So I didn't want to become a pilot. But I always tend to see them. Okay, when they come in the uniforms, they have a separate respect.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
yeah, yeah. I would always love to see them. When I was there in counters, when I was a supervisor and I was a manager of a particular, working for a particular airline, I actually tend to see them when they come near to the boarding gates. Okay, and they always used to have a sweet smile on them. No tension, no, kind of stressful face, no fear. Okay, they would actually something which you should see them with. With
Yes, ma'am.
you have so much of respect toward them that we can't face that.
Yes, ma'am. Totally agree.
Yeah. So
Actually, I do have my best friend. He's a pilot in Air Force, so he just flaunts himself like anything, ma'am.
I know Air Force is very difficult. Okay, Air Force, if you compare commercial field and Air Force field, is entirely different. Military base is something else. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
military base is very risky. You don't know when your life goes for toss. Even if you talk about a commercial thing, you don't know when your life goes for toss. But we have a lot of securities. Okay, in the commercial field, because every bag is being checked every after those tragedies which has happened. So we have a setup, but military you can't assure. Yeah, but even when you say that Air Force, um, their uniform is completely different compared to the commercial ones. Okay, uh,
Yes, ma'am. All in
since they
green overall.
since they work for our country. Okay, we
Yes, ma'am.
have that is a kind of different respect, and this is a kind of different respect. Okay, even
Yes,
when
ma'am.
both of them,
I'm
even
happy for
when
that
both of
also,
them, yes, even when both of them are coming, we don't see the other commercial pilots. We only see the F4 pilots, right? Because they
ma'am.
work for
Yes,
India.
ma'am.
Yeah, because more of the respect will go for them because they work for India. But it doesn't come, but when they're coming separately, yes, because we represent an airline and things like that. But yeah, but you should have a base of science. You have jumped into commerce. What to do now? There's no option.
Yes, ma'am.
But don't tell me being a cabin crew is also wrong, because every day they are risking their lives facing absurd passengers. I'll tell you, horrible passengers come on board. Horrible passengers come on board, and they have so much of patience. So much of patience. And at the end, when they are not able to, bear the passenger, that's when the complaint goes to the captain of the aircraft, and they would be paid according to the penalties and jurisdiction. So that has also been mentioned in the aviation law. If at all a passenger is creating an issue on board, or disturbing the staffs on board, then what is the penalty, what is the jurisdictions? Okay, all these things is actually mentioned in the aviation law. So they are actually bounded by laws, but still, there's nothing wrong in becoming cabin crew. The only thing is serving should be there in your mind.
Ma'am, this aviation cases it deal with in civil courts only, na? Or they have some separate code?
No, no, no. Civil codes only. Civil codes only. If
Okay.
at all, still they need to be, let's say the passenger needs to be moving on. No, I want to take this before. I'm not happy with this jurisdiction. Then they will go for the other courts, like your High Court and Supreme Courts, like that.
Okay,
But
ma'am.
usually, many number of cases are coming up legally, but they don't tend to be media cases. Okay, they don't tend to release it to media until and unless it is a accident or incident. Okay, like until and unless it's a crash, or until and unless it's something other, because you're losing too many lives. Okay, so I have got many such situation in my experiences. Okay, I have faced, as Divya said, I also love to become a pilot, but since I was very weak in my subject, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I will openly say that, because I hated max. I didn't like it, and I didn't even know what was physics. Okay, the P also didn't know. Okay, so I didn't want to take piloting. So, but something with God's grace, when I started my MBA with aviation, I got through Indigo, and this is where my career, started developing up, because Indigo gives you a greatest training. Uh, they are less payers, but yeah, the good trainers. And that is where I learned about everything. I was a cabin crew, I was a ground staff, I became the manager, I became the supervisor, and I became the manager. So day by day, their level of training was perfect. So I know what kind of passengers come. I have faced various kind of passengers on board.
Ma'am, how do you face a rude, or how do you objection handling when it comes to a rude passenger?
In what base you require, in a cabin crew base or in a ground staff base? You should
Ground.
ask me both.
Yeah, both, ma'am, both.
See, first and foremost, if you say now, a rude passenger, so usually when you enter into a aviation sector, okay, they will ask you for your personality development. Okay, so this is where it comes up. Now indirectly I'm giving you personality development training, so listen to it properly. So first and foremost, when when the passenger enters the departure, he comes to the check-in counters. Okay, now let's take an example that he's drunk. Okay, he's drunk. um He comes to the counters. He asks you that he's flying on so and so flight. Okay, so I would require my boarding pass. Now, when you look at the passenger, your every airline staff's first motive is to look at the passenger and understand what is he. Okay. Now I know he's drunk. Okay. Drunk fellow's eyes would be all reddish kind, or if he's too much drunk, then he starts, moving like a tree here and there. Okay, so but if I feel that he is stable, that is, he can go to his gates by himself, he is fine, he can handle things, he's able to read. Now there are not too many passengers who drink so much and come. Okay, there are people who attend the business parties and come with just two pegs or something. They would be capable enough of handling them. Yes, of course. So in that case, you can give them the boarding pass. That is, if you only feel that he is all fine, he is all fit to get into the aircraft, then only you are supposed to give the boarding pass. Now let's say he has come to the airport and he's drunk so much that he can't even talk to you. You don't know which aircraft he's flying on, and all this situation comes up. Okay, it's actually funny when